Hi everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're playing The Last of Us. This is the 8th chapter. I'm incorporating the Safehouse and the graveyard into this video. So you want to grab all the things in here, and do not forget to grab it's a pamphlet on the bar that will help us to have extra abilities. Let's see what it actually is here. Okay, so the Shiv's upgrades. Shiv lasts one hit longer. And I think we've already gotten one of those before, or we are going to get another one of those training manuals. But regardless, I think they stack. So at some point we should be having Shivs that last 2 to 3 hits. But my biggest weapon in this chapter, until Bill goes away, is Bill. Bill's going to be my biggest weapon. He's got a shotgun and a machete, and I'm going to use him to kill everybody. You can't spot enemies for Bill to kill, but his AI is pretty consistent at killing all the enemies. And Ellie, basically, she'll just stun the enemies. So as long as you can avoid the clickers, you're all good. And I developed that strategy in my last guide, but it never saw the light of day. And so hopefully this one will. But the first thing we're going to be doing is, you see that parking lot down there with all the cars? We're going to be ambushed by a lot of runners and also some clickers too. But we're going to be going to the next training bench in the church area, but it's not going to be until after that fight. So grab all the scrap metal pieces here. And it's not really a difficult fight, because the thing I was thinking, I was just actually rewatching one of my videos just to make sure nothing was wrong with the audio. The runners are very fast, and they could obviously catch up with you, if not outrun you. But that doesn't hold any weight with the clickers. You can outrun the clickers. So once we get into the graveyard, you should never be sweating about the clickers, because even if they start to chase you a little bit, they can't catch up to you ever. So that's a nice balance between these enemies here.
One side.
Because it makes a extremely tough enemy a little less tough.
She's busy.
So I thought this was rather humorous the first time I saw it. It's like taking care of a fly or something for Bill. But the first fight is going to be right up ahead, so you could actually see all the enemies across the way before you even start fighting them. And it's pretty much a mandatory fight. So, grab a bottle or a brick. And
why don't you fix one of these cars?
So, I believe this is the first time we're really fighting with Bill. So, trust me, he's your best weapon. And I'm not using him because I don't know how to fight these enemies. I'm using him because this is a survival horror game, and if I can conserve ammo by letting my companion AI shoot and kill enemies, I'm going to do that. It takes a little bit longer, but trust me, it'll be well worth your time and your... occasionally I will... if I come into if I'm completely backed into a corner and I see the jaws of a clicker in my face, then I'll fire a shotgun shell at them. But for the most part, I just circulate around this entire area. Bill cannot be killed. I mean, he can if you have that red plus sign over him and you don't get to him in time. But see how he just shoves off the clickers. He shoves off the runners. So he doesn't have HP, not in the traditional sense of it. And it's kind of fascinating because he'll take his time sometimes, but other times he's very aggressive. But see this situation? It's a no-win situation for the game, because these clickers cannot get me. Even they grab Bill, he just shoves them off of him. So I'm just waiting here for Bill to do the job for me. and it's a really good delegation of responsibility. Traditionally speaking, the AI, it kind of stays where you are, so just kind of, you have to kind of get a little close to the clickers. See, like this situation right here, I never break a sweat here because look, Bill is just a beast. So he took out all those guys, and he's going to come in so handy on the graveyard, you guys. It's going to be a joke.
Bill?
Joel, this way. And up we go.
Also, I don't believe there's anything in the shed across the way. In fact, if you see me not searching something, it's because I know for certain that there's nothing in there.
Take that hell of a place to hold up, didn't you?
So we get a checkpoint over here. After we jump down into this area, we get a new shot. We get the shotgun now, and Bill's going to introduce us to the nail bombs. So he's not going to actually demonstrate how they work. So just pocket the item, as it were, and make sure you get the toolbox. Whenever you come near a workbench, always look in the immediate vicinity for scrap metal pieces and those toolboxes, which give you the ability to purchase items that are at higher levels. So the toolbox is actually right over here, straight ahead. I'm going to pick it up. I think it's, yeah, acquired tools level 1. So any upgrades that are on the level 1 tier can be purchased by us, providing we have enough scrap metal to actually buy those upgrades. And I honestly don't know what I buy here, if anything. It might just be to get another holster. You can have 2 extra holsters in your HUD. So we'll just have to see. I think this was a very brief session. I had 270 pieces, so I decided to. I think I upgrade the bow a little bit. Get my draw speed up, and get some reload speed on the hunting rifle. And I think I get the scope too. Very important for me anyway to have that scope on there. And what I wanted to do was also to buy those 2 weapon holsters, but as it stands, I only have enough for 1. So I'm just going to just select one of these. I think I just get another pistol one, or probably a long gun. I'm not sure what I get. A long gun? Okay. Put something into the reload speed of the gun, of the revolver. I think the clip capacity and the power of the guns are very, they kind of go hand in hand, because yes, it is good to have more clips, more shells in your clip, but if your bullets have more power to them, you end up wasting fewer bullets anyway if you're accurate enough. Okay, so there's nothing over there. Believe me, I checked. Now we're going to go up here to the monastery, and there's an organ here, and Bill has a room over here that he keeps, which has some, I think it has something in there, at least some pills maybe.
Nice place you got here.
Well, if you got anything to confess, this would be the place to do it.
Just lines like that kill me. It's just so funny. There's such good writing in this game. So, Bill doesn't mind if you take the stuff from his room. I think all there is pills in here, to be honest. Yeah, 5 pills. Maybe a map or something. Nope, that's it. A note. Bomb's note. So if you want to read that, go for it. Now we're going to go out the window. Time to sack up, as Bill says. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be going into the graveyard section next, where there are a lot of clickers, but they're divided up into 3 specific categories, and I'm going to have Bill kill all of the clickers.
There's a school.
So this chapter is going to end with
Find out.
with the fight just outside the high school. So it's going to include this everything that's come before this part, the graveyard, and then the fights in the towns, or excuse me, the house areas. Really fun chapter, by the way. I love this chapter. Okay, so first off, what I'm going to do is cause these 2 clickers to aggro. So to do that, all I do is hold down the L2 button to sprint, and that makes them hear me, and then I back off. What you don't want to do, though, is trigger the fight after these guys until you've killed these guys, or otherwise you'll have about 5 clickers to deal with instead of just 2, and then 3 after this. So there's really no risk here. Trust me. I mean, Ellie's throwing bricks. I would like Bill to shoot more often than he does, but pretty much he's really aggressive. Check him out. He's just shooting. It takes him a lot of tries to. I mean, I assume some of his shots are missing, but that point-blank shot right there obviously took care of the job. So those 2 clickers are dead. Now I'm going to sprint to the next area and cause these enemies to aggro. So you want to fight these guys down here, or excuse me, you want to bring all these clickers that were in that bottom part over to here too, because if you fight these 3 clickers where they exist normally in their regular walking state, then the other ones will. Oh, there's a brutal kill right there, and that a boy, Bill. Then the last set of clickers, the last 2, will join the party. So if you're doing my strategy, you'll never have to shoot a single bullet, and you'll never have to fight more than 3 clickers at a time. But when you think about it, I'm not even fighting these guys. Bill's fighting them for me. And you could go all the way back if you want to. The clickers will follow you because Bill will kind of follow you back. One way you can get killed is if you just back yourself up into a corner. So this part of the area up here, it does dead end down the opposite way we've come from, but there's so much room to work with here, and you could use the environment. You could use this pit right here to kind of tease the clickers. But when I first played this game, I thought the clickers were like the hardest enemy. There's another awesome kill. Like the hardest enemy to deal with, but they're very dumb because they're so predictable. Anyway, so those 3 guys are taken care of. I've killed 5 clickers, so there's 2 more. That's a total of 7 clickers. I would not fight the 2 remaining clickers here, by the way. The reason for that is because these huge gravestones right here, they'll get in your way and you might accidentally back into them. And you might also be thinking to yourself, like Bick Benedict, why wouldn't you want to stealth through this section? Well, I've tried it many times before, and I got to the end, but it's really bullshit the way they have it. You can't just go through the door because not only is it locked, but you have to go through the whole rigmarole of Bill getting to the door, Bill finding the key, and opening the door. And it's ridiculous, and it shouldn't work like that. You should just be able to open the door. But it's scripted, and it's like a long, drawn-out soap opera at the door, so I just say to hell with it. I mean, this is Buffalo Bill we're dealing with here. He's a butcher, and he's a hell of a guy, Bill. So, leaving Ellie down there to perish. So I think it's just this 1 clicker left, and Bill went into hiding for some reason, but I'm just waiting up here. Make the guy come on and get me. I could melee with that guy, but it's kind of risky. Don't know how low his HP is. So, do your job, Bill. That a boy, Bill. That's a boy. Look at that kill. Nice execution. So, all the enemies are gone. You can just sprint forward and see how this works. Watch how this works, because you don't want all of this shit to happen while there's any clickers in the vicinity, because it's a joke. It's a sick joke that the game makers do on you. Look, the door's locked, but a lot of the times Bill doesn't go to the door as quickly as he did right there. So anyway, don't run out this area. Crawl. Follow Bill's example here, because we have a couple of runners up here whom you could take out. I think I might also know why Joel does the aggressive takedown. I think if it's like the last guy, and it's kind of like a, I don't know, like a flourish, kind of like a fancy thing that he does. Because I think this guy did that. I did the aggressive takedown. Also, even though we have, see the aggressive takedown. Even though we have the listening mode disabled, there is a really cool thing about this game that it's really obvious to a lot of people. I'm sure it is, but it's one of those things you kind of, it's so prevalent in this game, and it's such an ingrained part of the game that you might not know about it really. I mean, you'll know about it, but it's like, oh yeah, I remember that now. It's the way that if you're in the stealth mode and there's any kind of close calls, that what the game has this little audio little clue for you, and it's just a way for the game to tell you, hey, watch out, someone's in the nearby vicinity. I thought it was really cool. I mean, that is really considerate of a game to do. I mean, they could have taken that little music off. But anyway, be careful in this area here because I'm in a dead end, so I'm going to have to move out of the way. And I'm laying down a couple of shots because, I haven't had to waste anything. And so far, as far as ammunition, you saw me in the graveyard. I didn't use a single bullet. But anyway, the next time you're in a stealth sequence and you get one of those close calls, listen to that music and just then you can hear what I'm talking about. But this house over here, I don't think it has a single thing in this entire fucking house. There might be one thing in the garage, some scrap metal, but there's a brick, and I think there is like some scrap. Yeah, I think I missed it right there. I saw it out of the corner of my eye just now, but nothing in this house. Not one single fucking thing. And I don't count bottles and bricks because you can get those on the street. But here I'm going into the garage again because I knew there had to be something, I thought to myself. And there it is right there. It's this here. 10 scrap metal pieces. But I challenge you to go in that house on survivor mode and try to find something. There's nothing in there. Like the first time I ever played this game, I just didn't know how to play it, or I didn't know what the game really expected of me. But the game, this is gonna kind of sound weird, but the game doesn't expect too much of you. I mean, what I really mean by that is that it never holds your hand, and it respects you as a player. And the way it respects you is that it gives the player the benefit of the doubt that you're a decent player, you're somewhat intelligent, and you could figure it out. It never patronizes you, though. It never says, it obviously never talks to you while you're playing, but I'm just saying, like, the way it communicates with you via the gameplay, it's always, well, here's some pretty steep challenges, try to figure them out. We're not going to throw any cheap tricks at you. I mean, there's some, like that gate sequence a moment ago, but for the most part, it's all fair and balanced. Okay, so now we're going in here. Don't worry, there's no more enemies. But I think there are some items to grab. There we go. Grab those scrap metal pieces. And even though it says 1 on that cogwheel, that's one. That's not 1 if you get all of them. That's like there'll be. I think there's 5 there, so you would get like 5. You wouldn't just get 1. That's ridiculous. This fight up ahead is pretty challenging because I like to use Bill to shoot everybody, but there's not much room to run around in. And once you have the clickers down here aggro, then the clickers that are in the house will run out, and it's fairly challenging. So what I like to do is use the bow and arrow. Here, I thought the first time I played this, I thought they wanted me to go through the dog door too, like I'm a dog. but that by inference makes Ellie Ellie a dog since she went through there. But so headshot right there, body shot, stuck in him, broke. The arrow broke. So see all these clickers. You don't have to fight these guys, trust me. So here I'm busting out the shotgun. And all the clickers are kind of spazzing out. That was brutal right there. Brutal Bill. Bill for the win. That's a boy, Bill.
Go in, grab the battery, get the fuck out. Don't wanna get trapped.
So I think all the clickers are gone. And there's not much inside this house either. There's a very tender moment between Joel and Ellie upstairs, where she says that Ellie says she apologizes for having referred, or it might be in a different house. It's not this house, but she apologizes for mentioning Tess too much or something, or something along those lines. And Joel says, "You don't have anything to worry about," or "Don't worry about me." And it just shows how mature Ellie is, and just how stoic this guy is, who we're controlling right now, Joel. But it's been established that, I mean, he is a good guy. I mean, they pretty much established that he's a father. They never give mention of his wife, so he's obviously a single father raising his daughter. He's probably a contractor in real life, or some kind of a construction worker.
Who the hell left this here?
This pool down here actually reminds me of the pool in Max Payne 3. So anytime you see a flower pot, it's pretty much just a pill. So it's going to take a while till we get our second health upgrade. So I don't think there's anything down here. You might want to check the shed back here, just in case there's something.
Nope.
I honestly can't live with myself. If I bypass something, like something inside me tugs at me and it forces me back. It's just one of those gnawing, nagging feelings inside of me. This might be the house where that tender moment occurs. But I don't think I interact with her and do the dialogue. But I thought it was very sweet when I first saw it. God, this is such a great game. Another one of my favorite levels is another one of the suburban areas down the line with the sniper guy. I can't wait to have a rematch versus that guy, because he owned me up pretty hardcore when I first fought him. But when I wrap my hands around that son of a bitch's throat again, we're going to see some fun stuff happening. Yeah, it is this area. It's in the child's room, actually. I've noticed also that, like, the children's rooms, when you go in like a children's room, it doesn't have like any items that are good. It might just have a collectible or something. I don't know what that is saying about children or little kids. See, this was the baby's room, obviously, but all I had was the diary. And there comes Ellie. I don't want to talk to you right now, but that is a tender moment.
Yeah.
I did say it.
I just want to say I'm sorry about Tess. That's it. I won't bring it up.
Ellie, you don't need to worry about me.
There's so much stuff that goes unspoken in this game. And it really is the opposite of the book, because in a book, you know, yes, you do read between the lines sometimes, but for the most part, they say a lot of stuff in books because it's a written medium. So grab the arrow here, and now we have a final confrontation before we get into the high school. But that's actually going to be another video.